Hey, good morning. Welcome to Unity in Marin.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, Senior Minister here at Unity in Marin, and we have some exciting things coming up, and so I just want to let you know about some of those. One thing is that we are going to start with some services that will be at 10 a.m. So we'll be moving to 10 a.m. and we're going to assess that. We're going to assess, okay, how is that going? And just having one service outdoors. Some people are still a bit concerned about coming to an indoor service, and some people would like for us all to get together at the same time. So we'll get together starting September 19th down here at the parking lot. It'll be real nice. We did that for Easter. We did it for Father's Day. So those of you who watch online, you can watch us online at 10 a.m. Pacific time starting September 19th. And we'll rebroadcast immediately at the end of that. So hopefully about 11:15 we will rebroadcast so it isn't disrupting things too much. Also, we want to have contact with you. And one of the ways that we can have contact is if you go to our text in church number, which is 415-991-7111. And if you go to that number, text the word welcome. If you're new to us or if you've been with us for a while, text the word loop. And it helps us to establish a contact with each other. And today I will have our 4 o'clock Zoom meeting. And that's for anybody. Some people have been wondering, how do I connect with people? I feel so isolated here at my house and I can't see anybody. Hey, we've had this going for over a year and a half. So you have the chance to interact with me, with others from the congregation. We can talk more in depth about the message, about what's going on in our lives. So that's at 4 o'clock today. You can go to our website at unityinmarin.org and go to the events and go to Virtual Courtyard. Click on that and you can see how you can get to the Zoom link for that. We'd love to have you join us. And I think that's it for the announcements that I have at this time. Connect, I believe that at this time we're bringing forward the prayer box. Wendy, our wonderful prayer chaplain, is bringing forward our prayer box. It will be out here in the front lobby in the narthex following the service. You can place your prayer request there. And we just want you to know that we are based in prayer. We are a prayer movement. That's essentially what we are. And so I'd like for us to move into a time of prayer. Lots been going on in our world, yes? Can you keep up? All the things have gone on in Afghanistan. People of Afghanistan, women, men, children who were killed in the bombings and our own service people. I think of those trying to get out that are being kept from getting out. I think about all that's going on in our country with the pandemic and other things. I just invite us into the presence. This presence of peace, the presence of God, the presence of good. Breathe into that. We know that where we are, God is. We know in this presence, we have awareness. Awareness of the presence, awareness of peace. As we breathe into this, we know the presence of the I Am is right where we are. Wherever we are, God is. Breathe into that. Release worry, release anxiety, release fear. And breathe in the peace, the love, the presence that God is. This presence which is your true being. Just breathe. We know in this holy moment the awareness of the presence blessing this service, the music that will be brought today by Nicholas Beard, the fellowship brought by all of us here and those online, the presence and the blessing my words and every word that is spoken here, knowing that the Spirit of God infiltrates every aspect of this service to touch us right at the point where we need it. Spirit is ministering to us right now, right here, right where we need it. We are whole, we are complete, we are at peace, we are aware of the presence. Just breathe into that. And for all of this, Spirit, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen. And Al is going to be our platform assistant, leading us today with our inspirational reading and our meditation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Good morning, everybody. Today's daily word is awareness. So I'll read the daily word, and then we'll go into about 90 seconds of meditation. So please clear your laps. If you're at home, get nice and comfortable, and just settle in and give yourself this time. Awareness. The world feels new as I grow in awareness. Spending time in mindful contemplation increases my awareness of my surroundings. As I concentrate and focus my attention, I shut out distractions and settle my unquiet mind. My world begins to feel brighter, vibrant, and more alive as I notice the soft sounds and minute textures and colors that I have overlooked before. Spending time in prayer increases my awareness of God's goodness, which I share with others when I am patient and kind, generous and forgiving. The goodness returns to me as kindness and gentleness in the people I meet, and ease and grace in all the places I go. The universe has not changed, but I have. My awareness of God in and as my life has opened my eyes and ears, my mind and my heart. And from Psalm, open my eyes so that I may behold wondrous things out of your law. Awareness. Awareness. The world feels new as I grow in awareness.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
All we need in this world is to have a time of peace, a time of life and love, with all guidance from above. Time to understand being free. Ooh, in a time of peace, we need peace for our children, so that they may live a better life. What joys divine, what a perfect state of mind, with their worries and cares left behind. Ooh, what a peaceful time. We need peace for our children, so that they may live a better life. What joys divine, what a perfect state of mind, with their worries and cares left behind. Ooh, what a peaceful time. Ooh, what a peaceful time. Oh, a peaceful time.
Thank you, Nicholas. Amazing. peace for our children. That is thinking about the next generations goes back thousands of years in biblical text and other ancient wisdom, and it's something, it's self-survival, knowing that your children are the future, and in the past, that was your future was who was going to tend the farm and make sure that you were taken care of in old age. We're at an interesting time right now in our world where we're transitioning from challenges that had seemed far off that are now right in front of us. We were out in Sacramento yesterday for a baseball game, and it's smoky, and it's can be upsetting as you see the smoke and the fires approaching places like Tahoe and other places that had seemed safe and not to be impacted, and to see that smoke on the sun, just this orange dot in the sky, it's horrific. It's apocalyptic. And then to think about this was a baseball tournament for 10-year-olds, and we didn't think about not playing it because the teams we were playing were coming from areas where the smoke in Sacramento was an improvement from where where those kids live. So that's where my heart is right now, and living with this challenging area, because what is the world? What is the peace we're going to give to our children? So for us and our family, that is why we are members. That is why we contribute our time, talent, and energy to Unity in Marin. Because without actions that you can take, without things that you can do in your life, it can be depressing. It can be just overwhelming. And each of us can make a little bit of impact. And together as a community, we can make a lot of impact. So I ask you to consider, donations. Our donations are made on a monthly basis. It comes out every month, and it's a good reminder of our commitment and the fact that we are doing things to make the world a better place, even when hope is sometimes challenging. So online, unityandmarin.org, donate. You can send them by mail to 600 Palm Drive, Novato, California, 949, or you can text to give to 84321 with the amount you wish to give, and you'll be sent instructions. If anyone's having challenges and you want to give, whether it be time or treasure, please contact the office. We are always looking for support, and this is our community, and we can make the world a better place and truly bring peace for our children and our children's children. So with that, we'll do if you can please rise for the statement of truth.
Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, love gives it back.
Oh yeah, low percussion is good. Don't be blue, you ain't got far to go. You'll feel better when you're moving slow. If you're locked into your sadness, copper bluff, strut your stuff. If you stumble, just be tongue and cheek. Life is always just like a hide and seek. Anthony and Cleopatra, they did it too. So don't be blue. Da, 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 da. Dee, dee, da, do, da, da, do, de, do, de. Da, 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 da. We do, do, dee, do, do, do. Da, da, do, de. Da, 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 da. Wa, da, do, da, de. And don't let that sadness get you down. Remember, life is only good without that frown. No, come on. Yes. Oh, we love it, yes. You ready, Jason? Here we go. Don't be blue, you ain't got far to go. You'll feel better if you're moving slow. Don't get locked into your sadness. Cop a bluff. Yeah, strut your stuff. If you stumble, just be tongue in cheek. Life is always kind of a hide and seek. Romeo and Juliet, they did it too. So don't be blue. Just don't be blue.
All right, Nicholas Beard. It's so good to have Nicholas with us in person. Thank you. And it's good to be back. I've been on a little bit of vacation, went to Wichita, was with family and saw some friends. It's really good to be back. In many ways, this feels like home to me, and I know I'm called to be here, so I was looking forward to getting back, but it's wonderful to be with family and friends and have a little time to, rest and look at life a little differently. So my talk today is about the return of joy. We've gone through a lot of things in the last couple of years as a country, as a world. The pandemic, and now we have the Delta variant going on, and there's so many things going on in our country in terms of more and more awareness. I think that's a great word for the inspirational reading today, awareness. Awareness of racial inequities that have existed for hundreds of years, and really becoming more and more aware and active about that. Inequities in terms of how people of different sexual orientation are treated. And we see all these different things that are happening in our world. And some people recommend not watching the news. Now, sometimes people will take a fast from the news for 30 days or something. I choose to pray with the news. I see it as an opportunity to practice my principles. If I go to the Marin YMCA and I want to work out, I don't just sit and meditate, I work out. What is working out? Working out means exercising some muscles. So for me, the news and some of the things that are happening in our world are a way for me to exercise my spiritual muscles. It's not about just retreating from the world. It's about really engaging with the world, but engaging with it from spiritual principles, from the standpoint of truth, from the standpoint of spirit. So how can we find joy in the midst of all the things that have been going on in our lives? I've had multiple friends who have died in the last 2 years from COVID-19. Multiple. And so when people put out these Facebook messages, does anybody know of anyone who's gotten COVID-19 as if it's not real? And I think of the multiple people I know who've died from it or who took a year to recover from it. I'm thinking, wow, there is so much going on in our world, isn't there? So where is joy in all of this? One of the passages of Scripture that really, really has spoken to me for most of my life is Isaiah chapter 61. Isaiah 61 is the passage that when Jesus was brought up to speak at a synagogue, and this was early in his ministry when he was just starting to reveal what he was about. You know, they have a scroll, if you've never seen it, and you unroll this scroll and you don't even touch it with your finger. You have this stick that has a tiny little hand on it called a yod. And you touch the scroll with the yod. You don't touch the scroll with your hand, and you unroll it with these rollers. And so he unrolled it to the place of Isaiah 61. And he declared that this was his mission. He declared that this day you are seeing this in full fulfillment. And when I was in seminary, Nazarene Theological Seminary, an excellent school, getting my Master of Divinity degree, John Wesley was one of the predominant theologians I was studying. And Isaiah 61 was his mission statement as well. And when I was ordained, Isaiah 61 was the passage that I picked for my mission statement for my ministry. And I can say through all the ups and downs of my life, it's remained my mission. So I just want to read a little bit of it. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings to the poor. God has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound, to console those who mourn in Zion, to give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that God may be glorified. What that states is that we aren't here to just be victims of our circumstances, victims of our culture, victim of the circumstances that are around us. Sometimes I've asked people, how are you doing? And they have sometimes responded, I'm doing pretty good under the circumstances. And I will respond, why are you under your circumstances? Why do you want to get under those? That doesn't sound like a good place to be. And when we look at all the circumstances of things that are going on, getting under them isn't a safe spot. I prefer to transcend them. hey, this stuff is real that we're experiencing, but it's also transitory. It's not real in the absolute sense. I'm talking about in the eternal sense. That is, God is absolute, eternal. That love, that life, that creativity, that is each and every one of us. That is the absolute. I prefer to stay grounded in what is real rather than getting under the circumstances. You know? Sometime back, there were these purple bracelets that people would hand out, and it was to create a complaint-free world. You did that too, Cindy?
I have one.
Good. And so we would hand those out, and the idea was to create a new pattern, a new habit in our lives. It would take at least 21 days. So we would make this kind of deal that for 21 days we would not complain. And if we found ourselves complaining, we would move the bracelet from one wrist to the other. I wanted to take it even deeper. I wanted to get to the point where I didn't even think a complaint. And I found that I had to replace it with something positive before the complaint could get in there. You know, because it's such a default position for a lot of us. You know, I'll get on an elevator and I'll say, "How are you doing today?" "Well, you know, the weather is this or the weather is that or blah, 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 blah." And people often want to find common ground by complaining. Our world finds a lot of common ground by complaining. So what would it be like to shift that? To shift that, and let me talk about 3 ways of really grounding ourselves in joy. Now, one of the ways that God is described most often in the Bible, in the Hebrew Scriptures and in the Christian Scriptures, is the I am. As a kid, that didn't make any sense to me. What kind of name is that? You know, George, Mary, who are you? The I am. It's like, what? What is that? What kind of name is that? But you notice that the I am is not the I was or I will be. A lot of us spend our time in the I was or the I will be. In fact, most of us have one foot in I was and the other foot in I will be. And we're vacillating between the two. We're doing both at the same time. And so we're worrying about the future, or we're regretting something from the past, or we have pain about something in the past. And when we are living in the past or in the future, what are we ignoring?
The present.
The present, right? I mean, in recovery, this is a concept that's talked about a lot, that if you have one foot in the past and one foot in the future, I won't give the exact description that's given, but you are not accepting the present. You're not being in the present. The I am is about being in the present moment. Our true nature, and this is according to Sanskrit scriptures and teachings, our true nature is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. That means existence, consciousness, bliss. Ananda is bliss. In other words, our true nature, if we really allow ourselves to get in touch with it, is existence, right? Consciousness, you know, René Descartes, the philosopher, said, "I think, therefore I am." Having that consciousness and existence, experience, and bliss. When we get in touch with what we really are, it is joyful. It is blissful, but we can't do it without being in the present. If you are suffering from lack of joy in your life, I guarantee you, you are stuck in the past or the future or both. The present has joy. And not only do we need to live in the present, but live in the presence. The I am presence, that God presence, that divine, that absolute, that is living itself as each one of us, living in, through, and as us. When we ground ourselves in that presence, we find joy because the divine is joy. I don't know if you've ever been to some of those churches that are sometimes referred to as the frozen chosen. They are they feel themselves to be the chosen people of God, and they are just so stoic and frozen. But throughout Scripture, what we hear about is the joy of the Lord. Nehemiah was a person who, in the Hebrew Scriptures, returned to Jerusalem only to find Jerusalem had been destroyed. It had been destroyed by invaders. He and others had come back from exile. And so they started rebuilding the temple and rebuilding Jerusalem. And Nehemiah said, "The joy of the Lord is our strength." When we have joy in our lives, we have the strength to keep going. Psalms chapter 30 says, "Weeping may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Joy. I think it's underrated in our world. So when I turn on the news, I typically don't hear a lot about joy. Now, sometimes they'll have a joyful episode right at the end of the news. You know? Like you're just feeling sick, and then they'll give you something a little joyful. Something that is nice that someone is doing, or they're doing something good in the world. You know, and I really appreciate that they lift that up. But I believe that this can be our predominant stance in life. It doesn't mean ignoring what is going on in our lives. I want to explain. There's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain comes in our lives. Suffering is optional. Suffering is a choice. Circumstances happen in our lives. You know, loved ones may die, loved ones may get sick, relationships break up. That can be extremely painful. And I know by personal experience. I don't live in some ivory golden tower somewhere. I know that it's painful. Suffering, I believe, is our resistance to what is happening in our lives. I see people who are accepting of what's going on in their lives. It doesn't mean that they're just not trying to do anything about it, but people who are in acceptance do not suffer. People who resist and complain and try to control all the world around them suffer. It's pretty simple, actually. So when I'm suffering, I look at myself and I ask myself, in what way am I trying to control others? In what way am I setting up expectations of how others should be living and what others should be doing? In what ways am I living in the past and or the future? In what ways am I not grounded in the present? When I look at all of those things together, I see clearly how I'm creating my own suffering. Pain can be created by the circumstances we see around us. When I was watching the events of what was happening in Afghanistan this week, I felt tremendous pain. I felt tremendous sorrow for what is happening with people who are just desperately trying to get out, who just want to be educated. I feel pain when I see these young women and girls who've been able to go to school, who've been able to really begin to develop their lives, who've begun to really expand their horizons, and then are told you should just stay home now. I feel pain when I see the pictures of those women. I see pain when I saw the pictures of those bloodied bodies being carried in wheelbarrows. I feel pain. But for me, suffering is optional. What I choose to do is to be in the present moment and to choose to be aware of love. That I am here to bring love into this world. I am here to be part of the solution. And each one of us is called to be part of the solution in the world. Not to just fall into the quagmire of complaining and whining, but to be a light, to be the love, the presence of God in action. That is what we are here to do.
Amen.
And that's what we are here to raise up in this spiritual community, is to awaken to this Christ presence that we are, so that with Jesus we can say, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. God has anointed me to preach good news to the poor, to proclaim liberty to the captives. We are here to bring joy into the world. I've sometimes at Christmas time heard of people talking about, they sing joy to the world, and they sing about, well, where is the joy? Well, hey, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been praying to come along. We're the ones to bring that joy by being present to the moment, by being present to the presence, and by having an attitude of gratitude, of seeing all of the beauty that is around us, seeing the beauty in one another. As I traveled, I got to meet so many beautiful, beautiful people. It was such a joy to see that, to see God wherever I am, because truly, wherever I am, God is. And if I can see that, then I am tapping in to what is real. I am tapping into gratitude. And when I do that, I experience joy. Now, tomorrow's a really special day. I know this is a little unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway. Can anyone tell me what special day tomorrow is? Monday. Yay! It's Monday. You're right. There's more to it, though. Anything else? Any special holiday you know of tomorrow? Okay. What's that?
My nephew's birthday.
Your nephew's birthday. Awesome. It's someone else's birthday tomorrow, too. Krishna. Tomorrow is Krishna's birthday, appearance day. It's called Janmashtami. So it's a very big celebration. I mean, Christmas is a big celebration, but imagine a celebration that goes on for about a month. And just all kinds of festivities and food and gifts. And I can't help but to see some of the parallels between the birth of Jesus and the birth of Krishna. For example, when Jesus was born, the wise men showed up and brought how many gifts? 3. Gold, frankincense, myrrh. Krishna got 27 gifts. And in both cases, they were born in very unusual circumstances. Jesus apparently was born in a stable or in a cave or somewhere where animals were, because he was placed in a feeding trough, a manger. Krishna was born in prison. His parents were in prison because Kamsa, this crazy egomaniac ruler who thought he was the best, who thought he was the greatest, who thought he was the best solution of everything, who thought that everybody should be serving him. Kamsa had heard this prophecy that the 8th son of his sister Devaki, the 8th son would be his undoing and would end his life. And so he started killing off the children of Devaki, his sister. They put Devaki and her husband Vasudeva in prison. And the 8th son was born, Krishna. And so, what are we going to do? Kamsa's going to try to kill Krishna. So just like in Christian scriptures, where jailers would fall asleep and the prison doors would open for some miracle to happen, this happened with Peter and so forth. The prisoners fell asleep, the jail doors came open, and Vasudeva took out little baby Krishna and went to the Yamuna River, and the Yamuna River opened up just like Moses and the Red Sea. And he walked across the Yamuna, and he did a little switcheroony. So he switched a baby with a part of his family who had just had a baby, and it went, and then went back to the prison with this baby who was a girl, Durga, if you're familiar with Durga. And so Kamsa's like, what? It's a girl. And Krishna, in the meantime, has parents that are like, hey, we got a boy. And Kamsa was so upset that he sent out these demoniac type soldiers to kill off Krishna. Just like in the Christian scriptures, Herod was so upset to hear that there could be another king, he sent out soldiers to kill all the male children of a certain age. Kamsa did the exact same thing. You see all these parallels. And Krishna, that happened about 5,000 years ago. Jesus, about 2,000 years ago. So anyway, yeah, we didn't learn much. And part of what I find real interesting is that in both cases, they were born into a time of darkness, a time of feeling oppressed, a time of circumstances being very, very difficult. That's why they chose to be born in those times. What I want to say is that joy is the perfect remedy for what we are experiencing right now in our lives. Joy is what we need in our world right now. I mean, it would feel real odd to sing Joy to the World in the middle of August or late August, but that's really, I think, our theme song. We are to bring joy to these current circumstances. When I was at the hospital, working in the hospital system in Wichita, Kansas, the chief of surgical intensive care and trauma services, I was giving these purple non-complaint bracelets all over the hospital, and I came to him and I started to asked him, would you like one of these bracelets? It's to commit to 21 days of not complaining. He physically jumped back. Like a mouse that just saw a snake. He didn't even want to touch it. He said, I wouldn't know what to talk about. It's our choice. Do we want to be grounded in joy, to be grounded in the presence of God, to be in the present, to be in the presence, to be in an attitude of gratitude? It's our choice. Yes, we may experience mourning, we may experience pain, but Suffering is optional. Do we choose to live in joy? Thank you. So if you would repeat after me, where I am, joy lives. What I do is filled with joy. I recognize it's a choice. I choose joy. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for those words. This is wonderful. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe somewhere in the darkest night, a fire grows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to lead the way. I believe, I believe, I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard. I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I see a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nicholas, thank you for bringing joy to me, to your guests. Thank you. Yeah, I don't get to go to concerts like I used to with kids and everything, and that's why these Sunday are so joyous. It's so great to be here. I feel like I'm, watching a master on stage. And Jason, so good. And that goes for all of our musicians. We are really blessed as a community, aren't we? All right, I'll take us home now with announcements and other things. Take it home. Thank you, Tim, for a great talk. So this stuff works, right? We use algorithmic thinking now. We're starting to see more and more of the world. We do coding where it's like binary A, B, and the lessons that we have here, I know they work in my personal life. I read enough historical texts to know that people for thousands of years have thought they work. And I see enough of you to know that they work here. So let's keep that going with our community. So return to joy, the joy of the present. There is so much joy in the world. And, if you're ever looking for it, come here, connect with the community, help each other see the joy. Sometimes it's hard to see the joy. Awareness, you have to be aware. I thank you, Tim, for the news. I am not a consumer of infotainment, and I'd encourage everyone to look at the longer term perspectives on these things and where we need to go and what lessons were being seen. With this situation in Afghanistan, the key thing for me is war is stupid and unproductive. And to think that over 20 years you're going to have anybody else besides a group who believes that death is a gift coming into power was silly. And we've been lied to as a country, and we need to be more aware of what's going on and what our decisions are and what we're doing around the world. Thank you. It's not my kids who are over there, and it's not, and it's not the all-out war that we're sending people over to, and we need to, hopefully that's the lesson we get, because this is not the first time. Hopefully it's the last. Rick Steves is one of my favorites, and it's been a while since I watched him. Everyone know Rick Steves, the travel correspondent? Yeah. He speaks his mind these days. He's pretty outspoken, and I like it. In his travel, he incorporates that. So with that, wear a mask, get vaccinated, take care of yourself, take care of the community, please. This is Al Gaspari speaking. We need to get past this, and we need to stop this destruction on our way of life that we can take care of. If you would have told people in ancient cities that were, dying of plague at 25%, that there was a shot that you could take to cut that off, people would do it. That there was a mask that wasn't like a long bird mask, people would do it. So take that into heart and wear a mask on campus and in other places. This place does feel like home. That's true to Tim, and Marin County is a special place, and Unity in Marin is a special place. And, we want to make sure that we can help more people get back to Unity in Marin, because there is joy in these Sunday morning gatherings. So we're moving outdoors. So beginning September 19th, we're going to do one live service on Sundays. It's going to be outside. So it'll also be online, but being outside will open it up to hopefully more people feel more comfortable to come and to have one service. We get to see all of our friends and community members and reconnect. So please join us. It's going to be really exciting, and thanks Tim and team for spearheading this. It's great. Here we are coming into fall. So as I think about what we can imagine this fall could be like, it's going to, a time of transformation and transition. And that's the title, that's going to be the book study too. So really excited for this year's book study. Couple points. It's a great book. I've already read it myself. It's a short book. So I picked up in the last 2 weeks, the last two deliveries I've got of books are Finding Yourself in Transition and then Infinite Jest by, if anyone knows Infinite Jest, it's about 1,100 pages, very dense writing. Sue can probably speak, but Finding Yourself in Transition is something you can read in a couple hours. And it's really powerful, and it is really helpful. So we're going to have, it's 7 weeks from September 7th through November 7th. You can sign up in the courtyard today. If you're online, you would contact the office to get a time to sign up. Yeah, so admin at Unity, or office rather, at unityandmarin.org. If you want to sign, there'll be online and in-person sessions. And I know that a lot of us, we have some great facilitators, and if you've never participated in a Unity and Marin book study, I can't highlight it enough. It's part book study, part meeting new friends, part life transformation, and this is going to be a really good one because these book studies are still, they're very transformational. I still have email chats with some book studies from, what was it? It was, I mean, for a lot of them, but the one specifically we did at Lee Young's house. Anyone? I think it was the travel. What was the travel one? Pilgrimage, spiritual pilgrimage. Thank you. So sign up today. Get the book. It's great. It's really good. And if you have friends outside of Unity, please let them know because it's something they can get involved in. They can get the book in the narthex, right? The book in the narthex, the sign-ups out there. There's tables right there for sign-ups. And then the book, Christine, is the book in the narthex? Yes. So Christine has the book in the narthex, and if you're online and need it, email the office and we'll figure out how to get to it. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. So if you email the office, you can purchase it online, and then you can either pick it up in the office or we'll leave it outside for you to pick up. And the book is $14.05, including tax. So thank you and enjoy it. It's an investment in yourself. Thank you, Christine. Getting Real with Race continues to meet with important discussions every Wednesday from 6 to 7:30. This is not something that you should feel nervous about joining in. It's an important conversation and it's easy to drop in if it fits your schedule, and you can sign up on the website to get the Zoom information for this. It's a great conversation, very powerful. Unity World Day of Prayer is coming up on September 8th on a Wednesday. It starts at 7 p.m. It'll be indoors there'll be a labyrinth indoors, so that'll be set up. If anybody has done the labyrinth, that's a really great experience. And then outside, there'll be music with Christine Tullis, and Reverend Deanne will be providing, leading a service, and that'll be at 7 for the service. And then the Day of Prayer, you can sign up. The Day of Prayer goes for 24 hours, it's a beautiful day. And think about your intentions and how you want to get involved and what you want to pray for and make happen. Our youth and family ministry is a great gift here to our Unity and Marin community. One of my kids is in there now, and there's a nice group. It's good to see 5 or 6 little kids running around with Melissa Masters in there. Melissa just wrote a book, and we got it delivered, so Kai is going to be asking her some questions about the book. He has questions, my little 6-year-old. He's a voracious reader. Thank you. But for the entire community and the surrounding community, we're going to be doing a drum circle on every first Friday, starting September 3rd, so that's this coming Friday, here in the Unity Sanctuary from 6 to 9 p.m. This is, if you have teenagers in your life who, have been pent up, they might not, been looking for things to do, this is a great way to get them out and into something that's easy and fun. Everybody can drum. I can drum. I've never had a drumming lesson. You pick it up really quickly. We have drums here available, so please, consider coming and make sure to invite your friends and neighbors because this is one of those events that's just it's a ton of fun and it's a great way to get the community together. Unity and Marin office hours. So if you need to get a hold of the office, in-person office hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 to 4. We're closed on Monday, and then Friday is a remote work day. So if you need anything, please reach out to Dory, and she can set up an appointment to get to you. If you make sure to, if you didn't get a response, make sure to follow up and just send a reminder. But that's admin@unityandmarin.org. Next Sunday, we will be doing 2 services, and so that'll be at 9:30 and 11:15, and it's times of transition and transformation. So, continuing on this path, this is some great learning on how to navigate this crazy world that we live in, and we look forward to that. And the music, speaking of great musicians, we have Deborah Winters and the Unity Marin Band, which Jason is putting together. So that'll be one you might want to come in person to get a little jam out on a Sunday morning. It'll be fun. All right. So the principles work. It's easy to go into joyful meditation, but you have to go out into the world and interact with other people. And as Camus said, H-E double hockey sticks is other people. Is that Camus, right? Is that right? Or Sartre. Yes, that's but interacting with other people can be difficult. One of the ways that I've been able to learn how to interact with other people that has had impacts on my life as a husband, a worker, manager, coach, has been my involvement with Unity and Marin on the board. This is where the rubber hits the road of spiritual practices, real world constraints. So we are having a town hall meeting where we are inviting everyone to get involved. This is your community. This is our community. This can be anything we want it to be, but we have to make it so. So please attend the town hall meeting. If you're not able to attend the town hall meeting, there are other opportunities to provide feedback. There's a board email. It's board@unityandmarin.org. You can get that from anybody. Send your feedback. Send your ideas. We are $1 million organization. This building is a treasure, not only for us, but for the entire community. There are big decisions that need to be made and work that needs to be done, and we need the community's input, and we really want to get it laid out. As I'm board chair, and what I really strive to do is have a true meritocracy within our community where we have so much expertise, and we need to leverage that expertise to help us navigate through all these decisions. So a meritocracy is sort of like a democracy, but you put heavier weight towards those that are experts in their areas. And we truly have some experts, whether it's on the facilities team or in our financial oversight, that Lynn, Dr. Forsey, and Linda Anderson Henry oversee, or our strategic plan overseen by Tim. So there's plenty of experts, but we need more input from the community because you have something to offer, every single one of us. Anything else for the town hall, Tim? Good? All right, so that'll be 11:45. Oh. No, just in person.
The service at 11:15 or whenever we...
Yep. And if you can't attend, please send an email. Or send an email. Be there, as Pamella says, be there, be square, or send an email. All right, so first off, Pamella and Elizabeth, what are those orange flowers there? That is spectacular. What's that? A Gerber daisy. So we all learned something today. That beautiful, if you can see it on screen, that is an amazing flower. It is spectacularly gorgeous. Thank you to Pamella and Elizabeth for that design. It is really pretty. It brings me joy. And today's flower sponsor is Michael Wayne Jackson in honor of my deceased father, Jerry Wayne Jackson. Thank you, Michael. Our hospitality sponsor today is Dr. Lynn Seaver Forsey. Thank you, Lynn and Kevin, for all you do for our community. And happy birthday to Kevin Seaver and Richard Forsey. May you have a blessed and wonderful year ahead. Our lives are awesome thanks to you two Virgos. Very nice. And hospitality is now served in the courtyard. Please come out here and grab some coffee and snack. Unity in Marin is a community of prayer. And our prayer chaplains, if we have prayer chaplains, please stand up. All right. We have prayer chaplains here in person, and we have prayer chaplains available online. There are two ways to receive prayer support. So first, you can call the office at 415-475-5000, extension 0. So this is, every 0 is always like the default. Our default is for prayer. So that's a good sign of how much it means for prayer. And you can leave a message for a prayer chaplain to call you back. And get that set up. You can also send an email with your request for silent prayer at silentprayercircle@unityandmarin.org, and your prayer will be held for 60 days. So 2 great ways to pray. And don't forget that the World Day of Prayer is coming up on September 8th. All prayer requests are kept confidential, and please take advantage of this. Tell your friends and neighbors, because this is something that is available to the entire community. Now, please rise and we'll say our prayer of protection. And thank you very much for not calling me out for misstating the statement of truth earlier. That was actually our giving song. And you let me stay up, so great. All right, so prayer of protection. Here we go. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now we'll sing our peace song. You can join hands if you're with somebody, or feel free to raise your hands and kick it off with Jason.